like to talk about?
I would like to talk about the last hours. I'm not interested to talk about
You can talk about anything you want there, my friend.
Yes, I would like to ask the moderator here, Dr. James, about AI.
I will go on mute, and you, as long as Dr. James is okay with it, you can engage with him. That's what the show is all about.
Yeah, speak to Dr. James and then to Alfonso. So, Dr. James, you talk about AI in helping you to learn, and then you are very fascinated with the potential new development in AI. And I'm very curious in what way you are fascinated. What's your hope? What is your expectation? And also, you think $200 per month, is it something too expensive? So I'm very curious about your view, Dr. James.
Wow. So I wish I had David here, who's finance guy. He's usually really good at crunching numbers on the fly for me, because I bet you he could come up with a cost benefit of investing in my own machine or using cloud compute to develop projects. Right now,
That's a very good element of. So instead of financial Dave, you have end of times Dave. please continue.
Yes. But he's quite kind, and I really appreciate it being. Thanks for the question, Dave. And I'll try to be really brief, so I don't bore everybody else. So the projects I do, I usually do these days through proprietary developer API backend, and so I have more freedom to build things out in a more personalized way and work on projects and apps and things like that. But I don't know that I would spend $200 a month on the consumer product. I think I'd rather just do more of a pay-as-you-go and find deals on the back end, because I've developed my skill enough to be able to kind of work that way at this point. But having said that, I think it's pretty remarkable that the consumer products now have the ability to do very automated agentic work. Most of the major models are releasing some version of that. Anthropic has the model context protocol. OpenAI has the operator codex or something like that. And a lot of them are letting giving them access to your local file system and working through terminal. These things can be accessed everywhere so great. So I hope that answers your question. But you asked about my hopes.
Yeah,
That's a really
it looked like I hear something exciting. I'm very curious. And also based on the what you just say, I get an idea. You actually program, you talk about agent AI. You're pretty up to date, very fascinating.
Yeah, well, I'm both terrified and enamored. It's almost like when people talk about some notion of a duty or something. I mean, there must be some element of terror in awe for it to truly be awe. Some element of respect of the unknown and very, very unexplainable kind of way. And I just think there's so much potential for good. And already I'm watching the layoffs happen, jobs getting automated. I've been reading about different companies, even in the public sector, are going to do management training on AI starting in 2026. Amazon is now doing promotions to have you to evidence working in AI and building AI product, Amazon or whatever it is. And also, with the layoffs happening, just the product automation out there within Amazon manufacturing, the is for building AI and robotic skill oversight into their employees to essentially manage robots is what's happening. So I don't know. I mean, it's basically the future that we all dream of is happening with the data science. We're all going to be out of work. It's really scary. It seems like there's
let's go back to what Marcus did. Very exciting. Like we now go straight to the society and start training. When you are not worried about your job, you focus on what really excites you. And that is a society I think we are approaching that if we want to become.
the same time, our president is gutting Medicaid, he's gutting all the social supports that we have in place, so that when this transition happens, it could go more smoothly. And he's gutting our ability to feel secure in an very insecure environment. Not to get too political, I think I'll end with my politics right there. I'm just saying that I am both. I think this is an existential question here. I think this is a very deep question you're asking me, so I really appreciate it.
Then why don't you next time create a room something like that? I could join you, and there are so many layers I would like to explore with you.
He has like
Okay.
a very high
I'm just,
voice.
if you want to say something, if I go to Alfonso, sorry, I'm taking a lot of time.
No, you can go to Alfonso right now. Can you guys still hear me okay? Yes or no?
Yes.
You can go to Alfonso right now.
Thank you. Alfonso, are you there? I don't want to interrupt you if you are on something. Alfonso? Maybe he's Alfonso. Yeah, so you talk about depression, you talk about grief, and I wonder, often I hear you claim to be atheist. So I wonder, in your perspective, grief and depression, who will deal this mental problem better, atheist or religion? And then maybe next time with Dr. James, how could AI help in this case for customers who are atheists and customers who are...
Well, we can come back around. We can come back around to Dr. James in hour number 3, but I'll let you finish up with Alfonso now.
Sorry, Alfonso, too many questions.
I think we can't generalize. There's too many other factors that come into play with mental illness. A big one is genetics, and a very big one is how our brain is conditioned, how our brain is trained to function, and what patterns are embedded into it. People who are dealt with in an aggressive manner, abused, it's kind of a given that they will have more mental illness issues. So I don't think we can generalize and say atheists deal better with depression or are less depressed. There are tools within spirituality, not necessarily theism, that help with mental illnesses or mental states. But I would never claim that it's better to be one or the other. I think science is the key. Whether you believe or not, or don't believe, take it from the experts who study these things, who are actually tracking what works and what doesn't to help people cope. The other thing is, I think we need to embrace suffering, embrace the highs and the lows as much as we can until it gets pathological. Then we better off seeking a good professional who can medicate us or give us therapy and the treatments required. So I think a combination of all the coping mechanisms that humanity has would be a good approach for people to overcome grief and depression, right? I wouldn't discard going to church if I found a community that didn't discriminate me because I was an atheist. And I wouldn't discriminate, and I also go to a demonic temple if I had found community there and if I resonated with them, right? I think what's advantageous of non-belief, not with having a belief, is that we can open ourselves to any practice, whether spiritual or non-spiritual, from one side of the aisle to the other, from one spiritual path to the other, Eastern, Western philosophies, to embrace what it means to deal with all these issues that life brings upon us.
Dave, thank you very much. And if you want to follow up with Dr. James, you absolutely can do that in hour number 3. Before we go to Benjamin, I wanted to talk about very briefly the other side of the coin to AI. Of course, the big take these days is AI is putting people out of work. AI is putting people on the unemployment line. However, and the Workers' Rights Radio Show was mentioned. I read this story, as one of the 4 stories on the Workers' Rights Radio Show from CNBC this week. Okay, check this out. For all its perils, artificial intelligence appears to have helped alleviate a long-standing problem in American business. Since around 2017, other than the brief spike in unemployment during the pandemic, there were far too few workers to fill the available jobs in the U.S. Let me repeat that. Except for a brief spike in unemployment during the pandemic, there were far too few workers to fill the available jobs in the United States. In other words, unemployment is becoming less and less overall. But in April of this year, according to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the nationwide labor shortage pretty much ended. Thanks to the combination of a cooling job market, people finally returning to work following the pandemic, and AI taking over an increasing number of human tasks, the skills gap has largely closed. The Chamber says, as of May this year, there were 7.2 million workers available to fill 7.4 million jobs. While that still represents a modest shortage, it is a far cry from 2021 and 2022 during the so-called Great Resignation. And remember the Great Resignation? That's when people quit. They weren't fired. The Great Resignation is when people quit, when the shortages routinely totaled in the millions. That is not to say that the United States does not still have a people problem. Worker shortages are still severe in some states, and economic development experts say the workforce is still a key consideration when companies make decisions about where to locate. The base of employment here is just not sufficient in the U.S., said Tom Stringer, a principal and leader of the site selection and incentive practice at Grassi Advisors in New York. We need a whole of government approach. That doesn't read right. We need a whole of government approach. Okay, that's what it says. To start getting folks technical skills and training and out into the workforce, and that's in every location. Some states are meeting the challenge, according to CNBC annual study. America's top states for business. Workforce is one of the 10 categories of competitiveness on which we rank every state about 13% of the state's total score under this year's methodology. We consider the educational attainment of each state in the workforce and the concentration of science, technology, engineering, and math in each state. And then they go over the top 10 states for employees. I'll just read the states very quickly, and then we can go to Benjamin. And if you guys want later, we can go into the details. But the top 10 states for employees, number 10, Tennessee. And by the way, I know a lot of people that are moving to Tennessee. I really, really do. Number 9, Utah. I don't know anybody that's moving to Utah. 7, Colorado. 6, Arizona. Of course, Grand Canyon State, Dr. Francine. 5, Washington. 4, North Carolina. 3, Georgia. I would never want to live in Georgia. 2, Florida. A lot of people live in Florida. And number 1, of course, what else? Texas. The top 10 places where employees have the best opportunity for a good job. Okay, and again, that's from CNBC, and that is entitled, These 10 States Are America's Best for Workers in 2025. Let's go to Ben. If you're in the audience and want to come up, just raise your hand. Let's go to Benjamin. Benjamin, good morning. Welcome back to the show. What would you like to talk about?
Good morning.
Hi.
How are you? How are you feeling?
Do you care?
I do.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm a little troubled today. My Clubhouse technology is screwing up on me, and my eyesight is acting up on me. So it's a challenging morning.
I feel you. I feel you on the eyesight. Well,
For those of you that don't know, I have a degenerative eye condition called retinitis pigmentosa. Fortunately, I can still see, but my eyesight is not as good as most of yours. Yeah, please continue. Yeah.
It's been a riveting show. I learned what a union is.
Oh, I figured you already knew that. Yeah. Obviously, I was wrong.
Every single person on the planet knew that, but what I learned is that there's a guy in Mexico who's never heard of it. And he's a teacher. That's a lot to take in. Hey, can I
we get calls from all over the world on this show. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I read something about me for 60 seconds?
Absolutely, you can read anything for up to 60. You can read anything for up to 60 seconds.
Bob.org. This is the good book. This is the holy book. This is your religion.
Before you start, just want to make sure you can hear me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, yes, go ahead. Read anything you want for 60
seconds. Read from the book of your religion. Deuteronomy chapter 13. You're familiar with your religion, right? Everything I command you that you should be careful to do it. You shall neither add to it nor subtract from it. If there will arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams that gives you a sign or a wonder, and that sign or that wonder of which he spoke to you happens, and he says, let us go after other gods which you have not known, and let us worship them. You shall not heed the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams. The Lord your God is testing you to know whether you really love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. You shall follow the Lord your God. Fear him. Fear him. Fear him. Keep his commandments. Heed his voice. Worship him. And cleave to him. Well, fortunately for you, you are at least keeping his commandments and heeding his voice. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death because they spoke falsehood about the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt. So there's a command here that you put the dreamer of dreams to death if he encourages you to leave your God. And Steve, I want to encourage you to leave your God this morning. And that would be my first pleasure would be to completely violate that verse in Deuteronomy 13. Steve, will you please leave the Lord your God?
Benjamin. Oh, I thought you were done. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, just getting warmed up. Yeah, I'm a false prophet. I know. Here's another false prophet. This is kind of a false prophet after the spirit of Alfonso. There's a cancer lab at Wake Forest that's in North Carolina. And $2.8 million of cancer research produced a couple papers, 3 retractions, for highly similar images. And this is medicine, right? This is like research that saves people's lives and money that was intended to help people save people's lives. But it looks like these papers had all used like the same image over and over and over again. Meaning they weren't really doing any research. They were just recycling some image over and over again and then doing papers. But don't let that bother you. Just close your eyes and imagine that when people publish science and they're experts and they have a little asterisk in their name that says they're an expert, you can know that they will give you the right information, because really if anybody has a certificate that says they're an expert, it makes it impossible for them to give you the wrong information. It's amazing how that works. You should just know that. You are safe with the experts. Alfonso's is going to be just fine and safe with his experts. So, and you should ignore the fact that sometimes experts lie. In fact, they lie so often that I can find a story like this every single week to share how the experts are wasting millions of dollars on bullshit papers. But yeah, Trump is certainly up a creek without a paddle at this point. It's been fun to watch. I hope it ends well for everybody involved. And Steve, are you ready to lose your religion?
Okay, I just want to make sure because of the clubhouse technology. Can you hear me okay or no?
Yeah. Are you?
Are you okay? Great. I'm glad you can hear me. Are you finished? Just want to make sure.
Are you finished with your religion?
I will address all of your issues when you are finished.
I see.
And you've got about 90 seconds. I purposely have gone on mute when you've been speaking.
Well, I thought I could ask you a question.
Well, you didn't say it first, Uncle Steve. I'd like to engage with you. You asked if you could read, and then you started going on your, for lack of better words, a soapbox. So now you have 60 seconds left.
All right. Well, I can get you into a fresh new ideology that does not involve killing dreamers of dreams. So I wondered if I could entice you into a more modern, clean, sleek, red-painted ideology today. Would you be interested in taking it for a test drive? There's no killing of dreamers of dreams in this fresh new.
And thank you. Please go on mute, and I'll be happy to address everything that you said. My response is that A, I've never killed anybody, and B, my religion does not endorse killing anybody today. And so the answer is no. No, absolutely not. And we're OT for the bottom of the hour break. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Ask Uncle Steve with the Mod Squad. I have assembled the best Mod Squad in the history of Clubhouse. They have a wide variety of fields of expertise and knowledge, as you just evidenced. You are encouraged to be bold, brave, courageous. Come on and talk about anything you want. You can ask me to go on mute and go on a narrative, or you can engage with me or my Mod Squad. Just have a take and don't suck. What does that mean? That means even if I completely disagree with everything that you're saying, just have some cogent points, and be respectful. And today, if I'm not mistaken, everybody has, before we go back to the Mod Squad, another article that I read on the Workers' Rights Radio show from CNN, and this is the other side of the coin, about employment and places to work. Battered by multiple years of high health care costs, employers are planning to shift more of the expense to workers in 2026. Sorry about that, everybody. A new survey released Wednesday of this week found over half of the employers in the United States are planning to adjust their health insurance offerings to increase staffers' share of the costs, such as instituting higher deductibles or annual out-of-pocket maximums, according to Mercer's survey on health and benefit strategies for 2026. The tight labor market and rising cost of living in recent years had made companies more reluctant to add workers' financial burden. Mercer its expenses to jump by nearly 6% this year after experiencing a 4.5% increase in 2024. Costs will likely rise at an even higher rate next year, driven in part by patients' increased usage and doctors using artificial intelligence to more accurately bill insurers, said Sunit Patel, U.S. Chief Health Actuary at Mercer. Another area of cost concern is coverage of anti-obesity GLP-1 medications. And I'm going to ask Dr. James in a moment. It's Ozempic. Oh, I know what Ozempic is. Yes, thank you, Dr. James. By the way, Dr. James, I sent you a text. If you could just respond verbally when you get a chance, yes or no, that would be great. Okay, continuing on. Respond verbally, please, yes or no. U.S. Chief Health Actuary.
You're going to make it a team effort. I don't have 30 minutes prepared or even 15, 20. And if we want to make it a team effort, I'm super happy to help. Meaning, you know, the lunatics will take.
I know what that means. Thank you very much. Okay, GM and Ozempic medications, which are very popular but very expensive. Nearly 2/3 of companies.
Sorry to interrupt one more time. I know this is the sin of the show, but actually, if it's just facilitating getting other people talking, I'm happy to help. I can do that for you, no problem. Meaning, I don't talk much. Everyone else is doing the talking. I just do,
I will be listening in the background in case I'm needed. Fair enough.
That's great. I'm happy to.
Okay, let's fill everybody in. No, it's okay. It's no problem, Dr. James. I value your presence here. For some of you that are regular listeners to the show, Reverend Scott is not here. I sent Dr. James a text asking if he would essentially like to fill in for me and or Reverend Scott for about 15, 20 minutes, an hour. Number two, I was hoping, so it's okay, it's not a problem, to get a simple yes or no.
Yes.
And thank you, and I will be in the background if needed. Trust me, no problem. Thank you, Dr. James. I appreciate that. Continuing on with the article about over 50% of employers are expecting to pass on more costs of healthcare to employees next year. Very popular, but very nearly 2/3 of companies with 20,000 or more workers provided such coverage in 2024, while 44% of employers with 500 or more workers did. The pace of employers adding such coverage is likely to slow in 2026, Umland said. Companies may be reluctant to stop providing the benefit, but may narrow eligibility or require more documentation, making it more difficult for workers to access it. I'll stop right there again. That's from CNN. So over 50% of American employers are expected to pass on higher health care costs to their workers next year. Let's go to Dr. James. Dr. James, any thoughts on this, what I just read?
No comment right now.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Violet. Violet, any thoughts on what I just read?
Not at the moment, Steve.
Alfonso, any thoughts? Lynn, any thoughts?
Yeah, it just sounds like another way to screw their employees, and employees are gonna get really unhappy with that kind of stuff, I think.
Exactly. Cora, you probably started sipping on your coffee. You probably don't have any thoughts yet, but I know we're going to hear from you in hour number 3. And we'll just leave it right there. Dave. Oh, no, actually, you know what? We'll pass on Dave and Benjamin. Let's say hello to Christian. Christian, good morning. It's a pleasure to see you back on Ask Uncle Steve with the Mod Squad. What would you like to talk about?
I don't really have anything to talk about today, but I just wanted to ask how your day's going and all that. So it's great to hear from you.
My day is going great, although technologically my clubhouse is screwing up and my eyesight is giving me some because of the age similarity. I know it might be something that you like. Carolina, you can go on YouTube, go Carolina Prosenko violin, and you will find her. I think she's amazing.
Well, I will actually check that out right now. Because,
Okay, cool.
yeah, I'll actually check. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it.
The pleasure is mine. And with that, if anybody in the audience wants to come up, you're encouraged to do so. For now, let's go back to Dave. Dave, good morning. Would you like another fresh five? I think you wanted to speak to Alfonso, I think, right? Or no?
I'm interested to speak to both Alfonso and Dr. James because it's mental illness and then how the AI could contribute to that.
All right, I'm going to go on mute. You can have the
Why not say this one for when you have to take a break? Because it seems like
that's
such
a
a
great idea. Yeah, why don't you, Dr. James, and standing ovation for Dr. James. Love that. There you go. Love that. Thank you, Dr. James. Good suggestion. Okay, back to Benjamin. Now, Benjamin, you already gave us your 5-minute rant on losing religion and stuff like that. So, do you have anything new to talk about? Maybe not.
I just that I encourage you to colony my wish to be through the biblical fashion.
You want me to kill you?
That it would be,
I might actually enjoy that, believe it or not.
you can fantasize over it at least, right?
What makes you think I haven't already?
I don't know, but there it is, the Bible demands.
You want me to treat you in biblical scenarios like what you talked about. Basically, you're asking me to kill you. I mean, that's what you always talk about.
I'm just challenging you to obey the word of your God.
You want me to kill you.
I want you to take the word of your religion seriously.
I really never thought this day would come where Benjamin would be coming on my show and asking me to kill him. Do you also want me to dismember you and bury the body parts at different locations?
Look, there's the Bible is very clear about what you're supposed to do, and I wanted to give you the opportunity to go through it.
Amazing. Amazing.
It's where your mouth is. That's what I'm saying. I'm challenging you. Put your religious mouth is.
My goodness. Okay. Well, in response to that, let's hear.
So what I mean is, why don't you put up a shot, right? If you're gonna do the biblical thing.
Well, when was the last time I did the biblical thing on this show? Never. I never do the biblical thing on this show. No. The only one that's constantly doing stuff like this is you. I talk about 1, 2, or 3 current and relevant news stories that are in the national consciousness, and then I talk about whatever everybody else wants to talk about. I don't come on this show and preach my religion. What coffee are you drinking and what are you smoking? I don't come on the show and proselytize about my religion. I never have.
I didn't say you did.
Okay, fantastic. I'd like to talk a little bit more right now about Stephen Colbert. Actually, I'd like to listen. This is someone's take. I don't even know who this person is, but I previewed this before the show. It sounded legitimate to me. Let's have a listen.
Already his own fans and multiple celebrities are upset about all of this. However, many critics of Colbert are welcoming the cancellation in open arms, now including Bill Maher, who recently called out Stephen Colbert over his cancellation. Maher delivered the following. Look, I want to be clear with my audience. I don't wish failure upon anyone, but Stephen had it coming. He had to see this coming. When you begin to fall into partisan territory, all you do is spew out propaganda, as instructed by entire CBS producers. It's no wonder why they decided to cancel this thing. Now look,
Your membership is more than just a card. It's your gateway to extraordinary experiences.
commercial. I do find it interesting that this happened days after their settlement with Jamie. There's no question about that. Yeah, it's interesting for sure, but we just don't have enough proof yet to say this was the cause. Look, many Americans grew tired of Stephen Colbert's shenanigans and turning every single damn moment and turning every damn thing into a Trump rant or a Trump political talking point. He was a one-trick pony, and people got tired of it. I have been a comedian for a very long time. I get it. But when you are doing political humor, it has to be good-natured. When you begin to get nasty and you make it personal and you project your own issues on live television, people see through it all. And people on both the left and the right, shockingly I know, are just flat out tired of it all. They just are. So I think a level-headed person would at least go out with some redemption and change his ways before his show goes off the air next year. Even if it's not authentic, at least present yourself as a normal late-night show host, Stephen. Maybe the CBS producers will wake the hell up, and ABC producers should too, by the way, with Jimmy Kimmel. Do I have my issues with Trump? Sure I do. I'm very open about that. Do I have issues with his politics in certain areas that I don't agree with? Absolutely. But to see Colbert